wildlife and city folk meet.
Definitely.
So
definitely wildlife.
Which actually almost sounded like a farmersonly.com commercial. But yes, we are at the studios of KOFO tonight. Due to the threat of all the water stuff,
issues, yeah.
I first thing that went through my mind was playing the Oregon Trail game and someone got dysentery or something.
I don't think it's that bad. But.
Well, no, but Pizza Time closed its doors for the evening because of that, and so we're here and doing the final edition of the Pizza Time Kent Kessinger show for the 2017 season. And
it gave me a chance though when I got here to look through all the old vinyl records.
Oh yeah, there's
a historical place as well.
There is some nice history in this building too. Plus the original transmitter to my right, which is pretty solid.
It is.
You could not only...
they should give tours around here.
Oh, they do.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I actually used to give some tours every so often.
Really?
Yeah, which was the fact that they let me talk to the public was really kind of an impressive deal in itself. But I digress as we get into the edition here. Do want to quickly remind you, yes, as far as right now, as Cleon said, it's not a boil order, but if it would probably not be a bad idea maybe to go ahead and boil your water if you're going to use it for cooking or drinking. You certainly don't want to get cooties or dysentery, one of the two. And so that's still in place. Also, at the bottom of the hour, we'll have a update on the election. Did you vote, Coach?
I did not make it there. I'm sorry.
Okay, it's all right.
I was a little busy doing some other stuff and actually remembered about it as we were driving here, thinking I could get to the polls, but then I would have been late for the show. Well,
it's okay. I would have carried you for a little bit.
Yes.
Until I fell on my face. And so we get into tonight's big show, the final edition of the season, and Braves fell on hard times last weekend. They make a new through road with talk about hard times, baby. As the Braves lost by the score of 44-17 against Southwestern, and it was a close game at the half, but it just got away.
Yeah, it's just it's kind of the synopsis of what we've had to go through all season right now. Is we've played pretty good at times, and then we just haven't been able to finish things. And hopefully we can continue to keep on growing. We got I told our guys after the game we got 4 or 5 more practices to be able to grow and develop. Seniors are going to be playing their last collegiate game this Saturday, and it actually sets itself up, hopefully, to be a great weekend to where, we're playing a team that I enjoy to play for sure this weekend for Senior Day. So hopefully, we can, continue to build. We're getting past some of the injuries now, and we're getting into to where we're just trying to get the guys just a little bit more knowledgeable in what they're doing. So hopefully those things are coming together.
And it's kind of been a microcosm of the entire year, as you mentioned. I mean, you play well, and then you don't. And I mean, again, it's another one of those deals where you take a look at the offensive numbers, and you would think to yourself, "Wow, that's pretty impressive." And then you take a look at what Southwestern did and say, "Okay, well now I can understand why the Braves didn't win."
Yeah, we ran the ball fairly effectively, and the problem is we couldn't stop the run this week. They had 2 really good running backs that we just had a hard time, tackling and taking down. It's one of those things that you really understand what we had in our inside of our defense last year with Vinny and Zach. And to be able to replace those guys, we obviously are still in the process of developing some guys there. We've had some pretty good goes at it with I think Cole Greenwood has really come along and Jacob Garcia, but those guys are brand new into our system as well. But that was our issue. We couldn't really stop that inside run and that power ISO stuff, and that was where we really took it on the chin when it comes to our defense. And then offensively, we had opportunities to score and came away with 2 or 3 drives where we got nothing out of it. We threw a pick in the end zone, we had guys wide open, and we throw 1 pick. We underthrow the ball on a vertical route, and then they catch it in the end zone. And then the second we had another one where later in the game where we're actually driving have vertical routes open again, and we the ball slips out of our quarterback's hand. We had a different quarterback in at that time, and still another 2 opportunities for scores there. So it's one of those things, if you could take and put all the plays together that we could have had opportunities to score and look at them and just say, wow, if we could, put the ball here or hold on the ball there or make this little extra block, the season is completely different. So hopefully those are all things that are going into the bank of knowledge when it comes to learning and progressing as football players.
Well, and I think in some ways people take a look at that and say, okay, it's going against you this year, but you'll make up for it next year. It's just kind of the Murphy's Law of football in some ways.
Well, it's Matt Campbell, who's the head coach at Iowa State, talked about believing in the process a couple weeks ago, and they've had some pretty big wins this year, and they take their lumps the previous years and that sort of thing. But one of the things that he talked about was believing in the process. If you keep on believing in the process and working toward the process, that at some point or another the process is going to love you back. And that's where I think our guys are hopefully understanding that if they just keep on doing the work and putting in the effort and making the learning happen, that sooner or later the process is going to help them back out.
Do you feel like that the players, especially the ones that are going to be around for the next few years to come, are buying into the process right now?
I was very encouraged after the game. I had one of our freshmen. We got done shaking hands with the guys from Southwestern, and I came around the corner. I was the one that led us out there through it, and one of my young defensive linemen, Isaiah Ville, came over to me and he says, "Coach, I am going to work out so hard this off season. Basically this is not going to happen next year. I'm excited about it." And I've had young guys do that. We maxed out with our young guys on lifting this week, and we did squats on Sunday night. And some of the more competitive things that I've seen those guys do is in there, and they've made huge gains. We've had guys go up 100 pounds. We had our biggest jump was a young man. He gained 180 pounds over 3 months. Doing some stuff. So there's some young guys that are really, I think, that they got it figured out. We just need to get them a little bit older and wiser when it comes to the game.
And obviously with things not going well, and then especially the last 2 weeks where it really has been taken on the chin, do you as a coach or coaching staff feel pressure? Do you guys feel any pressure whatsoever?
No, I don't know. I mean, when it comes to just improving, that we put the pressure on ourselves to be successful. I mean, I'm a really competitive guy. I feel that, that every day that when I go into work or get up in the morning, I'm usually doing work at home before I get in here. I've unfortunately or fortunately, whatever way you want to look at it, become a morning person. My players don't like it so much because I'm up at the crack of dawn. But, the thing is we're going in, we're doing our due diligence to be able to put ourselves with the guys that we currently have in the right situation. And, then at the same time, we've been able to do quite a bit of evaluating this year on new guys in our program and where we think that we need to get some players to fill in some holes. And I think that, you put that pressure on yourself to succeed. I am probably one of the most competitive people that you'll ever meet, and I know it's hard to believe, but so I put more pressure on myself to perform in it than anything,
and which is really I think is a key thing, because I think it all starts from the top down. If you're as a leader, as a coach, if you have that mentality, the players are going to pick up on that.
Oh, you hope so. You hope so. I tell them from the beginning of the year, and when they come in, is that one thing you're going to get from Coach K is that hopefully I've proven over my years is that I'm a worker, and one thing I tell them also is I'm a perfectionist, and we'll run through plays after plays after plays, and I'm always hoping that we're going to get it to the point where we do it perfect. And I've also told them, I said, nobody's perfect. There's only one perfect person that's ever walked the face of the earth, and that's the big guy upstairs. And but the thing is you can strive for it, on a day-to-day basis. And that's something that we've been trying to teach our guys to be able to do both on the field and off the field, and in their academics, and, how they relate to people, how they work within our community, as well as on the football field and in the weight room to prepare themselves.
Let's take our first break right here. We'll take it, and when we come back, let's talk a little bit about the seniors on this team, because they'll be playing their final snaps this Saturday at People's Bank Field, a game we'll have for you here on 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO, starting at noon with the Wise Guys Construction Auto University Braves pregame show, and then kickoff at 1, and you'll hear it here again on 1220 and 103.7 FM. But first, this break, you're listening to the Pizza Time Kent Kessinger Show on 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO.
A college education means more today than ever before. And that's why Ottawa University strives to equip our students with the education needed to enter the workforce prepared to make an impact. With the addition of engineering, Ottawa University now offers 22 majors at the campus in Ottawa, Kansas, with even more programs available online. Contact us today to find out more at ottawa.edu or by calling 800-755-5200.
When you do it right, people notice. Take Ottawa's own Pizza Time. A perfect score on Yelp. Well, listen to the reviews. Jack C. said, "This is my favorite lunch location. It's a must-stop every time I'm in town." John R. from Washington, D.C. comes to Pizza Time whenever he's in town and says, "They never skimp on the toppings and the crust is made from scratch. Service is excellent and the delivery time is super fast." Read it for yourself at Yelp or TripAdvisor, or check them out on Facebook. Pizza Time does it right. Dine in, carry out, delivery. All-you-can-eat lunch buffet, too. 785-242-TIME.
Ford President's Award-winning dealership, locally owned, and the lowest pricing on new Fords in Kansas City. For huge savings, visit Bob Allen Ford and choose from new 2017 Ford Escape SEs as low as $299 per month or $19,881 after the Ford rebates. How about a stylish new 2017 Ford Fusion SE as low as $279 per month or $18,500 after the Ford rebates? Shop online from 2 great locations in Overland Park at BobAllenFord.com and now in Ottawa, Kansas at BobAllenFordOttawa.com. Excludes taxes and fees, 75-month term with approved credit.
Back here on the Pizza Time Kent Kessinger Show. Bob Johnson with you till the top of the hour. Reminder here, around the bottom of the hour, we'll step away for an election update as a couple of positions up for grabs in the area, and we'll get you updated on what's known so far. So stick around for that. But right now, let's talk about some of the seniors on this team as we talk with head coach Kent Kessinger. Over the last few years, things haven't gone as well, but still a great group of seniors that have worked hard and really put their heart out there to try to get the Braves back, not only for a conference title, but back into the playoffs.
Yeah, you got some of our 4-year guys that played in the 2014 championship team, that have been playoff contenders as well. And it's always a bittersweet moment when you see them walk onto that field and then walk off the field, for their last time. And it's one of those times where you try to reflect on what they've done and what they've meant to the program. And we've got several of them that have done quite a bit. We've got a couple 1-year guys that are just here for their senior year, and Deshaun Jones and Marky Belcham, and then you got 4-year guys like Clint Godfrey and Jake Jones are 2 that really pop into my mind right now as 4-year guys that have been around the block a little bit here within our program.
And even though that they're going to be playing their final snaps, they're going to hopefully leave an impression for the players to come. It always seems like that each group of seniors that leave, there's always a little something left behind.
Yeah, like give you an example with Clint. Whoever gets to play safety next year is always going to be compared to Clint. Clint had to get compared to Logan Schultz, and Logan Schultz had to get compared to Evander Williams. You go back and this the kind of the mark that a guy like Clint has made in our program is, he's one that we know that if we don't have him back there, a lot of the times we're not getting lined up. And he's really super smart. He's a coach's kid. He's going to do extremely well. He works his tail off both in the classroom and then also summer-wise when he has got summer jobs and that sort of thing. He's worked as a manager and whatnot of different things. So, losing these guys when they quit playing and that sort of thing, is one thing. But just to see how they've grown and progressed is pretty awesome.
And that's something that hopefully the players that will be around next year, because still, this is a relatively young team.
Yeah.
That they're going to be able to kind of take some of that low-lying fruit and build upon it for themselves and learn a life lesson or two.
Exactly. You want to see guys that persevere through tough times. We had you got a guy like Germanic Anthony who's had some tough deals through family and that sort of thing over the last couple of years, and just to see him put everything that he has not only to his fellow teammates as a football player, but getting his degree so he'd be able to support his family. And that sort of thing. To see that, you got guys like that were new to the program in the last couple of years, like John Dawson, who's he and his wife. One of the it's not going to be a spoiler alert too much, but walking out with him on senior day is going to be his wife and his daughter, who they just had a baby this summer. To see him, be able to balance academics, football, and being a new parent, that's kind of interesting to see. Watch kids grow up, quite a bit. And I think that's something that you can then take with your guys that are continuing on with the program and just find bits and pieces of little things to say, all right, here's an example of a guy that did this, and look what he's doing now. I do that all the time with our guys that are alums. That's one of the things I think that's best about homecoming is seeing guys that were, when I first got here, that were a part of our football program and seeing what they're doing and how they're making a difference, in their job, with their family. They're married. Some of them are starting families of their own and everything like that, and be able to pull those things and show, if you work hard, this is what you can be, not just only on the football field, but then off the football field.
You've given a couple of examples, but maybe one that people may not know about or that may be under the radar. Maybe give another inspirational story about a senior on your team.
Well, the one that really comes to mind with work ethic, doing his job, and it's got a lot of the twos. He was too little for this. He was too something, whatever. Is Devontae Riley. That kid has put himself in a position as a starter on our defense. Has played really well this season. It's he's a corner, so you're going to give up a couple plays here and there, but his whole work ethic and how he went around, not only this since he's been here, but particularly as we went into last spring and then this summer. It was amazing to watch him grow and develop. I was so excited, to be able to see him do well for us this year because of all the work, and that's something I can use with these guys as they can go forward and say, hey, look at a guy like Devontae. He busted his tail off all summer, working, running, being here, working a job, and then doing all the stuff to be able to have a successful senior year. And I think that those guys that are workers like that, those are always great stories to be able to tell.
What about a story that a humorous story that maybe someone doesn't want you to tell about a senior?
Oh, I don't know. I got Jake Jones in class right now. That's sometimes humorous. No, he's a really good student. He rolls his eyes just like he used to do in the O-line meetings. How with Jake, just kind of watching Jake go through, his development here as an offensive lineman. I coached him for 3 out of his 4 years. I'm sure I could come up with 1 or 2 funny stories from there, but none are just really coming to the top of my mind. But yeah, we've usually you try to forget some of the things that was funny, and that was probably when they were freshmen, and they don't want to remember that anyways. things.
Well, nobody wants to remember their freshman. Freshman
we don't
year
even want to remember the freshmen very often, right?
Yeah.
We want them all to be sophomores, which they are now. So, right?
Yeah, I don't remember a whole lot from my freshman year, but
I had 2 of them, so I remember both.
Well, I mean, I remember radio stuff, but that's about it.
Yeah.
So we've got these guys they're getting ready to take their final snaps, and as you prepare for that, it's almost like a child leaving home. Are you ready to see these guys leave home and take on to the world?
Yeah, not that we want to shoo him out the door or anything like that, but
get out of here!
No. But yeah, I like to see, as the more that I've coached over the years and and been involved with these guys, the more that I don't want to speed up their lives or anything like that, but I want to see what they're going to do in their next chapter. That's kind of been one of the things that I've really kind of taken hold of, and I think my dad has kind of taught me a little bit about that. As he's kind of reconnected with a lot of his former players, over the last 14 years that he's been retired, and he'll send out an email to everybody that played for him that's got an email that's on his list, and he'll give updates on the conference. He'll give updates on specific people, and it's kind of fun to be able to learn what they're doing. A guy coming back and say, yeah, hey, Cody Materi was back for the homecoming day, and I met his wife. Just only got to see pictures of it on Facebook, but got to meet her, and every once in a while a guy like Jake Granitz will pop in, and we get to see, he'll pull out pictures of his kids and everything. And I don't want to speed up their lives or anything like that, but I want to see what they end up doing down the road.
Well, and I got to see Chase Hansen there at Sterling a couple weeks back, so it was good to talk to him too. And I'll tell you what, right now, because we're right at that magical bottom of the hour, let's take a break.
Election returns.
Yes, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about this week's opponent, which is one of Coach Kessinger's favorite opponents all time.
That's right.
Kansas Wesleyan. But first, a break. You're listening to the Pizza Time Kent Kessinger Show here on 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO.
The new Ottawa Care Clinic inside Cosentino's Price Chopper is there for you to treat minor illnesses such as flu and the common cold, sinus infections, ear infections, fever, ringworm, as well as minor injuries including abrasions or burns. No appointment is necessary to see one of the clinic's experienced and caring advanced registered nurse practitioners. The Ottawa Care Clinic inside Price Chopper, available now for your convenience. Call 785-214-4903.
Pizza. The bald-headed, yellow-skinned guy behind me has just discovered Pizza Time.
Cheese bread, buffalo wings.
You'll be drooling, too, with every bite of everything on the menu. Know what makes Pizza Time the best?
Dough!
Yeah, that's right. Fresh-made dough gives Pizza Time pizza its wonderfully delicious flavor.
Beer, wonderful, glorious beer.
Got that, too. And with football season here, there's no better place to watch a game or go after you've played one.
Pizza. Beer.
Close. It's Pizza Time. 208 South Main in Ottawa, 785-242-TIME.
Fast savings, fast service, and we will beat your best price on tires, guaranteed. That's the Quick Lane Tire and Auto Center at Bob Allen Ford. Save big now on tires with rebates up to $140 on these top brands: Goodyear, Pirelli, Bridgestone, Yokohama, and Hankook. Quick Lane, it's for all cars: Ford, Honda, Chevy, Toyota, and any other car in your garage. For huge tire savings this month, visit the Quick Lane Tire and Auto Center at Bob Allen Ford in Overland Park and now Ottawa, Kansas. It's fast, convenient, and we're open 6 days a week.
Information and entertainment in East Central Kansas. KOFO K279CS Ottawa, where keeping you informed comes first. Here's Cleon Rickle.
Welcome back to KOFO's Tuesday night election coverage, Your Voice, Your Vote. Election coverage on KOFO is brought to you by your local Edward Jones financial advisor, Brian Henningsen at 502 South Cedar in Ottawa. Call
your voice, your vote, election coverage.
Make your appointment with Ryan at 242-1088 Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing. Member SIPC. And as you heard, I'm Cleon Rickle, and I'm here in the Bob Allen newsroom. And here's KOFO's Milton Amel, who happens to be at the courthouse.
This is Milton Emmel reporting from the Franklin County Courthouse downtown Ottawa. As of yet, as you might expect, we're still awaiting any returns on tonight's election. The polls close at 7 o'clock, and probably will be, I would estimate, another half an hour or so before we start getting some of the early returns. Probably the most interest in tonight's election would be the Ottawa School Board and the Ottawa City Commission, with several interesting races, and including one writing candidate, Mr. Eric Crowley. And he's waging a writing campaign to, he was appointed about 2 or 3 months ago to the City Commission. And so this will be, if he's elected, of course, this will be his first elected position as far as the City Commission is concerned. So anyway, we'll be waiting returns, and then we're calling in from time to time to give the latest. Again, this is Milton Emmel reporting from the Franklin County Courthouse in downtown Ottawa for KOFO News.
Depending on the number of write-ins, the Ottawa City Commission race might not be decided until Monday morning when the votes are canvassed by the County Commission. Franklin County Clerk Janet Paddock says they'll tally the write-in votes tonight, but that will be without who got what write-ins. Paddock says she hopes her office has a rough idea Thursday of how many write-ins Crowley received and whether he has, if he'll be back on the commission. However, under new state law, mail ballots have until Friday to reach Paddock's office. I'm Cleon Rickel here in the Bob Allen Ford newsroom, living dangerously, drinking unboiled water.
Your voice, your vote, election coverage from KOFO.
Back here at the mothership on 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO. It is the Pizza Time Kent Kessinger Show. I am Bob Johnson, and looking right into my eyes as I look into his is your head coach and mine, Kent Kessinger, as we get ready for this weekend's hot action on the gridiron. And before we talk about that, the most important part of the show, we are crowning, by golly, we're crowning a Homer Call champion.
This is going to be fantastic. I've been in deep anticipation since last week.
Your voice, your vote, right here on 1220 and 103.7 FM as we determine a Homer Call champion. And it's election night. It couldn't get any better.
No, this is perfect timing.
You could cut the tension with a knife.
Yep. We're going to probably have our returns in before we get returns from the city.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm feeling, hang on.
You got it?
Within 20 minutes.
20 minutes?
Within
right,
20, maybe less.
Let's see if we can beat it.
Let's see what we can do. One thing we would like to see beaten this weekend are coyotes.
Yes.
Both
mangy things they are.
Both the real and the ones that come from Salina.
Particularly the ones that comes from Salina wearing purple and gold.
Yeah, so who broke out those most hideous uniforms 1 year ago against Ottawa, where they were trying to do their best LSU impersonation.
Yeah, they were yellow. I don't know what color they'll be playing with this week. Probably they got some grayish. I don't know. They got quite a few combinations, it seems like, but either way, I think that the Braves will be pretty amped to go after them.
Be ready to go. This is a rivalry game, and I know that people get tired of hearing it, but boy, it couldn't set up any better because Kansas Wesleyan still has something to kind of play for here.
Yeah, they're in the top 25. They made it back in. I think they're at 24. Something like that, around there, 23, 24. They're playing really well. They've got, I think, probably now after watching the whole season of everybody at quarterback on their offensive side, Kelly Cordova has been probably playing the best of anybody, and particularly here down the last 4 weeks, he's been pretty solid, both running and throwing the football, and they do some pretty nice things on the offensive side of the football. So it's going to be a pretty good challenge there for our defense. Kind of to get him out of the nice, I guess, rhythm that he's been in. Kind of challenge him a little bit there, but then they have some pretty good dudes on defense. One is Christian McQueen.
Is that the
number
Iron
52?
Potato?
That is not the iron potato.
Okay.
That is not the iron potato, but he's a pretty good defensive end. I think he's probably, if the guy from Tabor is number 1, then this kid Sprayberry is number 1, then he would be 1B. He's pretty talented. So we've got a really good football team that we're going to face, and hopefully that challenges our guys and gets them up for it. I mean, for me, this is an easy game to get up for. There's no love loss for an old Bethany Swede and the Kansas Westland Coyotes. And then it's always been a really good game. I think the first year that I was here, it was one of our wins, and we went into double overtime against them. We've had some good back and forths. Last year, I think it was a 21-7 game, and we had 3 or 4 opportunities of posts. That if we could have played a little pitch and catch, we have touchdowns on those, and we had a touchdown called back. So it was a pretty even game, and it was really hard fought. So hopefully we can make up for that this year and get the W.
Well, the Coyotes are on a 2-game winning streak. They defeated Bethel last week, and boy, they ran all over Bethel. Well, they aired it out all over Bethel. They ended up with 510 yards of offense, but 331 of that was through the air. And Bethel has a pretty strong defense. So for a team to be able to do that, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, their defensive front's pretty good. Bethel's still struggling, at times on offense, and they caused some turnovers that gave Kansas Westland some opportune spots to be able to put some points on the board. But they do. They're pretty complete right now. I would say that they're definitely falling in there with the ranks of Tabor, Sterling, and now you could put K-Dub as a solid top 3 in our conference. Of our opponents that we have to play.
Well, and boy, wouldn't it? How great would that be? How sweet would it be to be able to knock off Kansas Wesleyan and take away any hopes of a playoff berth?
Yeah, well, anytime you beat Kansas Wesleyan, it's going to be good for me. It doesn't matter if they're playing for a berth or if they're playing for one win.
But it's got to be extra special.
Well, it is. It's really going to be difficult. Looking at the national ratings to get 2 teams into the playoffs this year anyways. I think Sterling's in the driver's seat for that. Tabor's got a chance, maybe. They got to have a couple people. They have to win on Saturday, obviously, but they got to have a couple people move in there. Kansas Westland, they'd have to have like 8 or 9 teams lose in front of them, which is not going to happen. So that would be there's some teams that don't have any games to play, so that would be an issue. But they could they're playing for the national ratings, they're playing for all this other stuff, and it would be nice to be able to take that away from them. Last year they did the same thing. They were in the driver's seat to win the conference championship and lost the last game of the season. So we'd like to replicate that last game loss.
And a game you'll hear here on 1220 and 103.7 FM on Saturday, 12 noon for the Wise Guys Construction Ottawa University Braves pregame show, 1 o'clock for the kickoff. And I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to discuss strategy because this Coyotes team has got a lot to throw at, as Coach mentioned, and especially on the offensive side, that's going to be the place where we're going to have to see if see where Ottawa can improve, especially over the last couple of weeks. So that's some X and O's talk when we come back here, and we will do that. But first, a break. You're listening to the Pizza Time Kessinger Show here on 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO.
When you do it right, people notice. Take Ottawa's own Pizza Time. A perfect score on Yelp. Well, listen to the reviews. Jack C. said, "This is my favorite lunch location. It's a must-stop every time I'm in town." John R. from Washington, D.C. comes to Pizza Time whenever he's in town and says, "They never skimp on the toppings and the crust is made from scratch. Service is excellent and the delivery time is super fast." Read it for yourself at Yelp or TripAdvisor or check them out on Facebook. Pizza Time does it right. Dine in, carry out, delivery. All-you-can-eat lunch buffet, too. 785-242-TIME.
A college education means more today than ever before. And that's why Ottawa University strives to equip our students with the education needed to enter the workforce prepared to make an impact. With the addition of engineering, Ottawa University now offers 22 majors at the campus in Ottawa, Kansas, with even more programs available online. Contact us today to find out more at ottawa.edu or by calling 800-755-5200.
The new Ottawa Care Clinic inside Cosentino's Price Chopper is there for you to treat minor illnesses and injuries, including abrasions or burns. No appointment is necessary to see one of the clinic's experienced and caring advanced registered nurse practitioners. The Ottawa Care Clinic inside Price Chopper, open Monday, Thursday, and Friday, 11 until 7. Saturday, 9 till 4. Sundays, 9 until 3. Call 785-214-4903.
See, it wasn't that long. It was just a short break. I promised. I try to deliver when I make a promise. Kind of like X and O's talk now, like
X
I
and
promised.
O's, yes, you're talking. Okay, so what's your X and O question, Bob?
Well, you're not going to tell me anyway.
I will. I'll tell you all
because you never give away anything.
Nobody believes me anyway, so.
Well, let's talk a little bit on the defensive side for Ottawa, because you mentioned, I mean, they've got some good backs. They can run the ball. They rushed for 179 yards last weekend. Cordova can throw it through the air. He runs it too. He's the team's leading rusher. He's averaging about 61 yards a game. And then he likes to check it for about 226 yards a game.
They do some really nice stuff when it comes to being in the same personnel and being extremely multiple, and how they can get to stuff. They'll play a guy that can play their H-back or tight end position, and they can flex him out and have him be a receiver. They'll use him as the running back at times. They'll bring a running back receiver, and they'll have him be able to go into the backfield or flex out and be a receiver. They do a lot of jet motion stuff, and then do some misdirection off of those. They do a lot of zone read, there's a lot of things that gets you thinking, and then that's when they do the play action stuff and throw it over the top. And the one thing that you can tell with Cordova is he's not afraid to put the ball in a spot for his receiver. So he doesn't hesitate. He's willing to throw a pick to be able to maybe fit a ball in. And he's got a pretty good gunslinger mentality, and it's working out well for him. I mean, they started off with a different guy playing quarterback at the beginning of the year, and he kind of earned the job probably a couple weeks into the season, but he has pretty much got that locked down, and so he's really, really difficult to be able to defend, and that's where you got to put yourself in the right spot. You got to be able to read your reads and your keys. But the other thing that you got to do is, guys like that, you got to make them uncomfortable, and if you can make them uncomfortable, that's going to throw them off kilter. And that's what we have to do this weekend from a defensive perspective.
Well, certainly making them uncomfortable is going to be a key thing. But do you think maybe the defense it's better for them to just not think too much and just react? Is this playing a team like this? Is this more of going off of a gut feeling, or is it more a thinking type game?
Well, I think especially defensively and offensively too, if you're thinking too much, you're not going to be physical, and that's still the main component of the game, is the physicality of it. And so, yeah, I always said if a guy's thinking too much, he's got too many of the cogs flying in the brain, too much running up there, and not enough running down on his feet. And so you've got to be able to see things and then quickly process them and go. And that is where, we need our guys to play aggressive, and they need to get around the quarterback. And, there's times when he's going to run and he's going to be available for hits, and, we got to hit, because at some point or another, every quarterback, if they get, hit enough, whether it's a run or you nudge them on a pass or whatever it is after a while they'll start seeing ghosts. And what I mean is you'll drop back to pass and you'll have a clean pocket. And all of a sudden you'll start bobbing and weaving back in there because you think that you got people running around. And that's where you got to make them uncomfortable. So you can't overthink things. You got to be able to count upon what you've learned this year. Like for us offensively, they run at least 3 different fronts, all of which we've played. So we just got to be able to, if they throw a different front at us, just remember what you did last week or 2 weeks ago or something like that.
Well, and speaking of the offensive side of the ball, that's been an area of struggle too. It not yardage wise, but just getting it across the goal line. And this is again, obviously, every game you got to get across the goal line and score more points than other. But against Kansas Wesleyan, you've got to be able to match firepower with firepower,
and we got to take care of the football. And that's the thing that I don't think we've turned the ball over as many times as we did last year. I think we've improved there. Where, you look at us statistically and you're like, well, gosh, dang. They've improved here. They've improved in this area. They've improved in this area. I mean, third downs, I think we're one of the top teams in the nation on third downs. And our defense is one of the top teams in the nation on third down, stopping people. And so that's a couple of years ago. We couldn't get a third down, and we couldn't stop anybody on third down. So we've vastly improved. Within some areas, and you look at it, well, that's good improvement. Where we haven't got what, and part of that's probably losing some of the big play guys that we had, is we just haven't been able to create the big play this year like we did last year. That's kind of been our issue offensively, and part of that is just getting the guys that we lost, our big play guys, before the season started, finding them to be healthy again next year. So those are things that will make for you scoring more points and finishing things off, is those big plays.
We're going to take our final break of the night right here, and when we come back, we will crown a Homer Call champion right here. A Homer Call champion, the first one ever.
That is. We should get a little plaque put in the station.
I think we should. Yeah, why not? We'll hang it somewhere. There's plenty of places now.
There's lots of walls.
Lots of walls with lots of places to put stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll take our final break. When we come back, it'll be Homer Call. You're listening to the Pizza Time Kent Kessinger Show here on 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO.
The bald-headed, yellow-skinned guy behind me has just discovered Pizza Time.
Cheese bread, buffalo wings.
You'll be drooling, too, with every bite of everything on the menu. Know what makes Pizza Time the best?
Dough!
Yeah, that's right. Fresh-made dough gives Pizza Time pizza its wonderfully delicious flavor.
Beer, wonderful, glorious beer.
Got that, too. And with football season here, there's no better place to watch a game or go after you've played one.
Pizza, beer.
Close, it's Pizza Time. 208 South Main in Ottawa, 785-242-TIME.
A college education means more today than ever before. And that's why Ottawa University strives to equip our students with the education needed to enter the workforce prepared to make an impact. With the addition of engineering, Ottawa University now offers 22 majors at the campus in Ottawa, Kansas, with even more programs available online. Contact us today to find out more at ottawa.edu or by calling 800-755-5200.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I shopped the many highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $27 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 800-445-6363. That's 800-445-6363. 800-445-6363. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
It's our final segment of the 2017 football season. Want to say thank you to all our listeners throughout this year, as we appreciate you joining us every Tuesday night, sometimes a Monday or a Wednesday, just depending upon things. And
if we don't want anybody to get a key on us.
Yeah, exactly. We got to throw a curveball here and there. And we want to say thank you to everybody who's listened to us. And so someone doesn't feel left out. Hello, Amy. How are you? And we have the modem back here, too. So
yeah, we do. And you can see a lot more of the people here. You know, the modem, the bank of encoders. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Like, see, I can see a long ways away. I just can't see in front of me. So I can read that, but no, I can't read my phone if I don't have my glasses on.
Well, it's all right. If I don't have my glasses on at all, I can't see. So
that's how you usually drive, though, right?
No, I drive my glasses on.
I'm just kidding.
Because trust me, you don't.
That funny part. Remember that you're asking for.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, kaboom, boom.
Hey, I used to drive without glasses on, and I don't know how I ever made it. It was pretty scary, apparently. Well, it is time. It is time now to crown our Homer Call champion.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this.
We have 3 finalists throughout this year that we had picked audio for, and these are in no certain order. So, at least I don't think they are. I just put them in. So
okay, that's good.
So there's no key theme or anything else. Man, there's a lot of fuzzies falling off of this here. Let me hang on here. I'm getting like little particles. It's probably like I'm going to get.
Are you molting over there? Or what's the deal?
No, the microphone thing is probably have mesothelioma by the time this thing's over with. So let's go ahead. Let's get into. I will run. I'll go ahead and take care of them in here, Zach, if that's okay. All right. So I got that. So
you see now at the station, you can just look through the window and give them the thumbs up, right? You know, as opposed to over the phone.
Hopefully that's the only finger that's going up, but we will we'll let that be. So here is cut number 1 for Homer Call. Well, okay, so it's not going to hang on here. We're going to have to manually do this. All right, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
So Bethel now 1st and 10. The ball on the left hash. They're moving from my right to left. 3 receivers, little bunch set to the left side, tight end to the right. Jones under center, takes a snap, rolls to his right, looking to throw deep over the middle, intended for Lashaka Lucas, and he was interfered with horribly. A lot of hand checking going on. I believe that was number 9, Quentin Urate. Excuse me, that was Chase Hansen, the defensive back on the play. And he was all over the receiver. I can't believe that didn't get a call.
Me either.
Yeah, I can't believe that. Oh, Quentin Iriarte, our quarterback was making that play. Oh, wait, no, it was Chase Hansen. Let me backtrack on that. They had 2 nines.
A lot of hand checking going on there.
Hand checking. It's like hockey. Go Blackhawks.
Boy, you would have. I'm going to act like I didn't hear that statement. You just threw me off my game on that one. So let's go to cut number 2 then. All right, cut number 2.
Swedes here, 3rd and manageable, 3rd and 5 in Coyote territory.
10:38 to go in this first frame. Made up leading by a touchdown, 7-0. 3rd and 5 from the Kansas Wesleyan 25. A wobbly pass thrown by Salazar. Leaping high point catch is made. Backpedaling out of bounds. Ronnie Millet pulls it in at the 1-yard line. It's a gain of 24. Blanket coverage over there by Whitaker and Pierce, but Millett pulls it out of the sky, and Bethany has 1st and goal.
Expect the Swedes to take advantage of that matchup all day long. Millett at 6'2". Whitaker stands at just my dad's height of 5'6".
My dad's height.
That's pretty good. These are all quality candidates, by the way.
And I got to be honest, could we throw any more of the puker football announcer radio jargon out there? Any more adjectives that blanket coverage? Could you just maybe tell me what's going on? What did that blanket have superheroes on it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Wow. But just throwing in that at my dad's height, I don't know.
That might tip the scales, but we do have one more left.
We do have one more, and This one caused a bit of controversy.
Yeah, early in the season.
Earlier in the season, but I can understand why it was chosen. So here is cut number 3.
It makes me think of what Bethany did not too long ago versus Bethel. Bethany had 7 turnovers as well versus the Bethel Threshers, and Bethany found a way to win that game by 4. Can Kansas Wesleyan pull off a true miracle like that? Well, the defense has to hold Jake Tiernan. Ed Crouch came out for one play of overtime and then was immediately pulled. 2nd and 10 at the 25. Coyote Faithful getting loud here at the Graves Family Sports Complex. Tiernan sends a man in motion left, and Campbell fakes it to him, trying to throw it. He goes down. It's a sack. It's a sack. Christian McQueen and the Iron Potato, Brad Coombs. They come up with a big stick. Loss of 4. And we look at a 3rd and 14 for Mac.
So the old Iron Potato.
The old Iron Potato. And because he's from Idaho.
Yes.
That's why.
Oh. Yeah. Well.
Oh, man.
Now the moment of truth.
The moment of truth. Well, I think with each one has their strengths for sure. Definitely.
Yes.
The hand checking.
Yeah.
To the father's height.
Mm-hmm.
To the Iron Potato. Well, you generally think about a homer call against you. So that would, lead me to think of the Bethel call. So I'm doing a little Princess Bride, thing here.
Yeah.
With the my strategy here.
Okay. 60 seconds.
60 seconds?
Yes.
Well, and then that we got Kansas Wesleyan as one of those.
Yes.
And so you can't go there. So I'm going to have to go with the Swede call with the father's height.
Yeah,
that's the champion. Champion this year goes to the Bethany Swedes call.
Well, plus you couldn't throw any more adjectives in there if you wanted to.
Every adjective is father's height, and you can't pick a coyote. No. And I can't go against ourselves.
No.
So there you go.
So congratulations.
Congratulations.
To the Bethany Swedes broadcast team. You are the 2017 Homer Call champions. Well, Coach, we've got just about 20 seconds here. So we'll wrap it up real quick. It's been fun.
It's been fun. We appreciate everybody that's listened to my in-laws back in Little River. You guys are the winners of the distance.
Yes.
But then also, Bob, you did a great job this year as usual. Radio Gold. Radio Gold.
That's going to do it for this year's edition of the Pizza Time Kent Kessinger Show here on KOFO.
Information and entertainment in East Central Kansas. KOFO K279CS Ottawa, where keeping you informed comes first.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Chuck Sievertson. Democrats looking to gain back some ground in this off-year election, winning 2 high-profile governor's races based on our analysis of the exit polls. ABC News projects Democrat Phil Murphy will win New Jersey governor's race. Deep unpopularity of 2 fellow Republicans, Donald Trump and Chris Christie, doomed Kim Gugano. Also, based on our analysis of the vote, ABC News projects that Democrat Ralph Northam will win the Virginia governor's race. He spoke earlier today.
Our opponent has run ads like the MS-13 ad to accuse someone like myself, who's a physician, an Army veteran, of supporting gangs. I mean, that's not what this country's about. It's certainly not what Virginia's about.
Health care, a top issue with the majority of Virginia voters, apparently helping the Democrat over Republican Ed Gillespie. Switching his story under oath to the House Intelligence Committee, ex-Trump campaign foreign policy advisor Carter Page saying that he alerted several top Trump campaign officials about a planned trip to Moscow in July of last year, including campaign manager Corey Lewandowski, and notified others when he returned. Investigating the Texas church shooter, the FBI says it has not yet been able to unlock Devin Kelly's encrypted smartphone. Survivor Rosa Solis talking with ABC's Matt Gutman in Sutherland Springs, Texas.
There was no mercy, said Solis.
When he started firing the shots, everybody was screaming. Everybody, but when they saw him go in, nobody said nothing. Not a word. Like I told my sister, you could hear a pin drop in there. Quiet, real quiet.
So the only sound was the sound of the bullets?
Yeah. Him shooting the people.
How many times did he say, "You're gonna die"?
One time. Everybody's gonna die.
So Solis played dead among the dead.
ABC's Matt Gutman.